I'm Grant Walker, and I'm joined by Business New Zealand CEO Kirk Hope as we update the situation with the COVID-19 alert level 3 in Auckland and 2 for the rest of the country. Well, Kirk, people can apply for the wage subsidy from 1 o'clock tomorrow being Thursday, with payments beginning on Monday. Now, that follows the wage subsidy announcement today. Do you want to go through it?
Sure. In order to qualify, employers have to show a 40% decline in revenue in relation to the typical fortnightly revenue in the 6 weeks prior to the alert level escalation to alert level 3 that occurred on 14th of February. So this iteration of the wage subsidy is designed to cover off some of the cost impacts of the last alert level increase, as well as this one. So the support's going to be paid in 2 weekly payments, and the total support is going to match the duration at alert level 3 round to the nearest fortnight. So, I think that's a really important step the government has taken, acknowledging that this is potentially a longer alert level increase that might be experienced in Auckland.
Well, we'll know on Friday with the government. Now, that announcement on whether we're going to reduce down in levels is expected, what, Friday, is it?
You would hope so. I think, what we're seeing is that the conditions are getting better. We're not seeing community cases. I think there's been large-scale testing able to be conducted. So, look, everyone's got their fingers crossed, I would imagine.
Last time we spoke, we were mentioning about exemption documents. And of course, for the last lockdown, people had exemption documents and are worried about what do they do this time.
Yeah, and what has happened is that the Ministry for Business, Innovation and Employment have carried those exemption passes over for people needing to cross regional boundaries. So I think that's certainly facilitated some of that movement. I think some 50,000 vehicles have been reported as moving across region, and maybe I think 800 have been turned back. So that tells you that, by and large, people are sticking to the rules, and B, have been able to utilise those passes where they need to move for work.
In the last couple of days, the people that you've been speaking to in Auckland, what's the main worry?
Prolonged alert level increases. So having to go through another alert level increase in another fortnight's time. So one of the things that we've said to the government is to prevent that, it's better to try and pay people at their wage rate for self-isolating rather than at the current government payment level, which means that in often cases there's a gap. So we support, along with the CTU, trying to pay people as close to their normal pay as possible in order to self-isolate, because it's much cheaper to do that. There are a lot less people that have to do that than are affected by alert level increases.
But to a certain degree with the private businesses, doesn't that come down to goodwill as well, though?
Look, I think it's a combination of factors. It's really critical that people stay out. The more incentives that we can provide for them to do that, the more they'll do it, and the less we will have to increase alert levels. We've seen the consequences of people going into the workplaces when they probably shouldn't have, and it costs everybody a lot. So it's easier to help them stay out of the workplace by paying them.
And are the government listening?
Yeah, I think so. I think they generally acknowledge and recognise the fact that it's a lot cheaper for that payment to be made in that way than to go into an alert level increase. The estimated costs are $30 million a day in Auckland alone. So, notwithstanding that there will be reduced productivity in other parts of the country that are in alert level 2, and most businesses should be able to operate in some way, shape or form at alert level 2, but it just means that there are less people around, people are socially distancing more, and the rules for face-to-face industries under level 2 are still quite tough. So the answer is that we don't want to have to go into these alert levels because it costs everyone a lot. And we can avoid it by ensuring that people are incentivized to self-isolate.
Well, let's certainly hope they do, and let's hope that we certainly know more on Friday. And with fingers crossed, we'll be back to alert level 1, hopefully sooner rather than later. Just repeating those things that businesses need to know. The last day to apply for the resurgence support payment from IRD for the 14th to 21st of February is the 22nd of March. And people can apply for that wage subsidy once again from 1 o'clock tomorrow, that is Thursday, and those payments will begin on Monday. Kirk Hope, talk again soon.
Thanks, Grant.